Hello everybody, welcome to KPIS Delhi's CARE Initiative, Current Affairs through Reverse Engineering. Before we start today's session, there's an announcement. From April 1st, that is from Monday, we are starting Play with PYQ series for the benefit of students. Here, we shall solve PYQs from past 41-year UPSC papers, and this would be subject-wise, and within the subject, it would be theme-wise, which means if we have taken Ancient India as a subject, Vedic Age will be a theme, IVC will be another theme. So all the questions pertaining to one topic will be at one place, and it will be easy for you to revise all the PYQs. Alright? And the video will be posted at 10 a.m. in the morning. On this positive note, we shall start the analysis of the CARE articles. These are the articles that we'll be seeing today. Let us look into the first article. Citizenship Amendment Act rules silent on fate of rejected applicants. What is the context? The context is that on March 11th, 2024, Ministry of Home Affairs notified the Citizenship Amendment Rules 2024, enabling the implementation of Citizenship Amendment Act that was passed by the Parliament in the year 2019. Okay, this you should know. Okay, now what is the thing or point of discussion? The rules lack clarity regarding the fate of applicants rejected by the empowered committees. For example, Matua committee in West Bengal is facing this issue. Actually, what is the aim of these rules? It is to expedite citizenship for undocumented migrants from specific non-Muslim communities from Afghanistan, Bangladesh, and Pakistan who entered India before December 31, 2014. All right. We have seen about Citizenship Amendment Act rules in the previous CARE videos. All right. Let me give you a brief about this one. So the purpose I already told you. Now there are some issues, okay, with this. That's why there is a lot of hue and cry, especially in the states of Assam and West Bengal. What is happening? See, this particular amendment and the follow-up rules are actually contradicting Assam Accord. Why? Because these rules have fixed this deadline, whereas Assam Accord Assam Accord of 1985 actually fixed March 24, 1971 as the cutoff date for determining the citizenship irrespective of religious affiliations. All right, so this difference is causing a lot of disturbance. All right, so this you have to remember, and you should also know that citizenship in India is governed by Articles 5 to 11 in Part 2 of the Indian Constitution. All right, and coming to the parliamentary laws, Citizenship Act of 1955 is the legislation which is actually dealing with citizenship, and it was amended in the year 1986, 1992, 2003, 2005 and 2019. Okay, so these are some basics. Consider the following statements with reference to CAA Amendment Act of 2019. The Citizenship Amendment Act of 2019 aims to grant citizenship to illegal migrants from Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh. This is correct. The citizenship laws in India derive their origins from Constitution under Articles 5 to 11 and the Citizenship Act of 1955. This is also correct. Here, it is a generic statement. They haven't given all illegal migrants. If this word all was present in the statement, then the statement would be wrong. Okay, here the word all is not mentioned. Read the statement again. It's a generic statement and there is absolutely nothing wrong in the statement. If the word all was there, then the statement would have been wrong. Why? Because citizenship is being given to Hindu, Sikh, Buddhist, Jain, Parsi and Christian community people. all right, because these are Muslim dominated countries. So the view of the government is that if a particular religion is in majority, there are very less chances of that religion being population of that religion being persecuted, or they have very less chances of facing persecution. Okay, so yeah, which of the above statements is are incorrect? Both are correct, so neither one nor two. With reference to India, consider the following statements. There is only one citizenship and one domicile. Yes, there is only single citizenship in India. Okay, you cannot take citizenship of the UT of Delhi, or say you cannot take citizenship of the state of Maharashtra. Okay, so there is only one citizenship, and that is Indian citizenship if you are in India. This is right. And one domicile, this is also correct. What is domicile? The place where you stay. And Uttarakhand High Court has actually given a judgment that there is only one citizenship and one domicile. Okay, so first statement is right. Which of the statements given above is are correct? First statement is right, which means B is gone, D is also gone. Now you don't need to read second statement. Third one, a foreigner once granted citizenship cannot be deprived of it under any circumstances. Why? If he is disloyal to the Constitution of India, then obviously his citizenship will be cancelled. Okay, so this is wrong. Only one statement is right. Anyways, we'll read the second statement also, because the trend in prelims is changing and you need to have absolute knowledge, not relative knowledge like ye correct hai, nahi ye chala jayega, not like that, you know. You have to have absolute knowledge. A citizen by birth only can become the head of the state in India? No, this is wrong, because this is the criterion in USA. But in India, a person can become a head of the state if he is born in India or he is a citizen through naturalization. If he is born in India, what is it called? That is called jus soli. Okay, where one is born. Law of the soil where one is born. Okay, so jus soli. India's rapidly expanding gig economy. See, in this article, you should know the context and also clear-cut meaning of gig economy. What is the context? See, a 2023 study by Fickey and Randstad India shows that around 42% of startups in India are increasingly hiring temporary and gig workers. Okay, now what is gig economy? Where is it defined, or is there any legal framework? Those are important for prelims and mains also. Okay, so first things first, section 2, clause 35 of Code on Social Security 2020 defines a gig worker. Okay, this was for the first time. And coming to the definition part, Niti Aayog actually defines gig workers. Gig workers are those individuals engaged in livelihoods outside the traditional employer-employee arrangement. Okay? And gig workers are classified into two types. One is the platform-based gig worker, and the other one is non-platform based worker. Okay, and who is a platform based worker? One who relies on online software, apps, or digital platforms to connect with customers and provide services operating within the framework of online platforms. He is called a platform based gig worker, he or she or whoever it is. And non-platform based gig workers typically work in conventional sectors as casual wage workers or own account workers. And this platform based workers are defined under section 2 clause 61 of the same code. Okay, and this entire thing which is contributing to the economy and which is involving employment and transaction of money is called gig economy. Clear? And what has India seen? See, in 2020, there were around 7.7 million workers who were engaged in gig economy, and it is expected to rise to 23.5 million workers by 2030. All right. So you need to give some kind of protections such as paid leave, health coverage, pension. Despite significant contributions to the economy, they do not have all these things. So these protections are needed. Okay. If you have to mention a case study about legislative measures taken to protect these gig workers, then it should be Rajasthan Platform Based Gig Workers Act, to improve the working conditions and to provide social security to these gig workers. Okay, clear? Now, which of the following can be considered as part of gig economy? Gigs entail projects or assignments undertaken by professionals with work executed within a specified time frame. This is what? Project based work. This is correct. Remuneration is based on deliverables achieved. This is also true. See, if you have to take some examples of gig jobs, then freelancers, actors, all these people come under this category. Okay, gig workers. This is also correct. In a gig economy, temporary and flexible jobs are prevalent. Yes, this is very important. This is the essence, right? The gig economy disrupts the traditional model of full time employment. This is also correct. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. All of these. With reference to casual workers employed in India, consider the following statements. All casual workers are entitled for employees' provident fund coverage. This is wrong. All casual workers are entitled for regular working hours and overtime payment. This is correct because wages have to be paid. The government can, by a notification, specify that an establishment or industry shall pay wages only through its bank account. Yes, this is also right. Which of the above statements is are correct? 2 and 3 are right. See, there is a little debate about the first statement because Supreme Court, in one of its judgment um, it said that the employer should not differentiate between permanent workers or temporary worker. Irrespective of the category, he should be provided with social security. Okay, but UPSC key says 2 and 3 are correct. Change in IT Act yet to benefit MSMEs. What is the context? The context is that the Finance Act of 2023 added Section 43B to the Income Tax Act. Why? Because it allows the companies to deduct any amount owed to MSMEs for goods supplied or services given within 45-day deadline stipulated by MSME Act of 2006. Okay, so there is a company and some MSME is supplying some goods or services to this company. So this section says that whatever the payment the company has to do to this MSME, deduct that amount and the rest of the amount will be taxed as taxed under income tax. Okay, within 45 days if you do so. If you're not doing that, then this payment will also be added and IT for this amount will also be charged. That means you will have to pay increased income tax to the government. All right. So this particular change was introduced to give a push to MSMEs and their timely payment. Now, little bit about MSMEs. See, MSMEs are micro, small and medium enterprises and they are regulated under the MSME Act of 2006. After 14 years of enactment of this act, the classification of MSMEs changed in the year 2020. Okay. Before 2020, only the investment part was seen as a criteria to classify MSME. However, after 2020, the turnover part is also taken into consideration. Clear? This is the classification you should remember. Micro, small, medium enterprises. The capital, if the capital is 1 crore and the turnover is 5 crore, then it is classified as a micro enterprise. Okay. If the capital is 10 crore and the turnover is 50 crore, then it is small. Medium enterprise is 50 crore and 250 crore. All right. So it is 5 times. No? 1 crore, if you have to remember, 1 into 5, 5 times. This is also 5 times, this is also 5 times. All right. And you should also remember that turnover with respect to exports will not be counted in the limits of turnover of any category of MSME units, whether it's micro, small, or medium. This is another step towards ease of doing business with respect to MSMEs. Clear? Now, consider the following statements. According to the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Act of 2006, the medium enterprises are those with investments in plant and machinery between 15 crore and 25 crore. See, there was an amendment after 14 years, right? And it is changed. What is the classification? This one, right? Medium is 50 crore and 250 crore. What is given here? It is 15 crore and 25 crore. This is wrong. They're asking for medium enterprises only, no? Yeah. All bank loans to micro, small and medium enterprises qualify under the priority. Now, what is a priority sector? Priority sector means those sectors which the Government of India and Reserve Bank of India consider as important for development of basic needs of the country and are to be given priority over other sectors. And MSME is definitely one such sector, right? So this is correct. Which of the above statements is are correct? Only second statement is right. Now, which of the following can aid in furthering the government's objective of inclusive growth? You should be thorough with the definition of inclusive growth so that you can apply that definition and come to an answer. Okay, what is inclusive growth? Inclusive growth is an economic growth that is distributed fairly across society and creates opportunities for all. Okay, and it seeks to boost national wealth and well-being by reducing poverty and ensuring equity across generations and preserving the economic freedoms. Okay, one, you have to remember equitable distribution and fair opportunities for all, national wealth and well-being, decreasing of poverty, and ensuring equity across generations and preserving economic freedoms. Okay, now we'll come to the options. Promoting self-help groups, yes, because it'll create economic opportunities, right? So first statement is right. Promoting MSMEs, this is also correct. Implementing the right to education, yes. We've just highlighted that creating opportunities for all is also one of the elements of inclusive growth. So this will ensure that one. No? So all the three are right because they're asking correct answer. X-class solar flare. What is the context? Earth recently experienced the impact of X-class solar flare leading to disruptions in radio communication over the Pacific Ocean. First, you should know what solar flare is, then you will understand what X-class solar flare is. Okay. What is a solar flare? Solar flares are magnetic storms which appear to be very bright spots with a gaseous surface eruption. A solar flare is pushed through corona. They heat its gases, and its impact is often seen in the upper atmosphere of Earth. Okay. Here I mentioned a word called corona, right? So this is also important for prelims. What is important? The structure of sun, because Aditya L1 is also in news, no? So structure of sun is also very, very important. There is interior structure. Okay, from inside out if you're coming, it is made up of core, then comes the radiative zone, okay, and then the convective zone. This forms the interior of the Earth in this order: core, radiative zone, then convective zone. Now solar atmosphere, which is, see, this is interior, no? Above this one is the solar atmosphere. I'll write it here. Solar atmosphere will have what? Photosphere, chromosphere, and corona. So I was talking about this one. The contours of the sun, they resemble, I mean, the virus's contour resembles the contour of the sun. That's why it was named coronavirus. Okay. So, yeah, interior, its core, radiative zone, convective zone. Uh, sun's atmosphere has photosphere, chromosphere, and corona. Clear? Now, coming back to X class solar flare. See, solar flares are basically classified into three categories. One is the X class solar flare, next is the M class, next is the C class. X class solar flares are those, they are major events that can trigger radio blackouts around the whole world and long lasting radiation storms in the upper atmosphere. So these are very, very severe in terms of their effect. Next comes M class flares. They are medium sized. Okay, they generally cause brief radio breakouts that affects Earth's polar regions. Minor radiation storms sometimes follow a M class flare. Now coming to C class flares, compared to X and M class events, C class flares are small with few noticeable consequences on Earth. Alright. Then the negligible ones are the A class. These are the smallest ones. Okay, so X class has the highest impact, followed by M class, then comes the C class. Which type of solar flare is characterized by major events that can trigger radio blackouts around the whole world and long lasting radiation storms in the upper atmosphere? See, radio blackouts around the whole world, it is definitely C class. M class will do that near the poles. Okay, not throughout the world. So B is the answer. Now, if a major solar flare reaches the Earth, which of the following are the possible effects on the Earth? GPS and navigation systems could fail? Yes, because this primarily affects the upper atmosphere, right? Upper atmosphere. And this is definitely affected. So 1 is correct. Select the correct answer. When 1 is correct, B is gone. Now, tsunamis could occur at equatorial regions. Now tell me, what is the basic definition of tsunami? Tsunami is a series of ocean waves. And what is the reason behind this one? It could be ocean waves caused by sudden and significant displacement of water, usually from what? Underwater earthquake. See, this is the water. Here you will have land, no? So, underwater earthquake or volcanic eruptions or landslides. So, the phenomena is not related to upper atmosphere, no? So, this is wrong. Okay. So, second statement is wrong, which means D is also gone, A is also gone, C is the answer. Okay. But because the question paper pattern is changing, you need to have absolute knowledge. So, we have to read other statements also, just to remember. Power grids could be damaged, yes, going by the answer. Okay. Now, intense auroras could occur over much of the Earth. Now, what is aurora? Not the surname. This is a phenomenon. Aurora is a natural light display in the sky predominantly seen in high altitude, especially in the Arctic and Antarctic regions, due to magnetic field lines of Earth and solar wind. And they are caused by charged particles, mainly electrons and protons, entering the atmosphere from above, causing ionization and excitation of atmospheric constituents and consequent optical emissions. Okay. So they are basically, it is a display of natural light in the sky predominantly in the high altitudes. All right, so this is also correct. Now fifth one is wrong. Forest fires could take place over much of the planet. See, if this would happen because of solar flares, then it would be a threat for evolution. We wouldn't have sustained. There wouldn't be any life only, because solar flares will come and the entire forest is set on fire. It is happening throughout the world. It is devastating. This is wrong. Okay. Orbits of the satellites could be disturbed. This is also right. Shortwave radio communication of the aircraft flying over polar regions could be interrupted. This is also correct. Nuclear energy as a climate solution. What is the context? The context is that IAEA, International Atomic Energy Agency, organized the event considering it as a landmark and turning point in efforts to expand the use of nuclear energy for clean electricity generation, and it was in Brussels. Okay, now we have to see two things for prelims about IAEA, basics about IAEA. What is IAEA? International Atomic Energy Agency, headquartered in Vienna. 1957 is the year that you have to remember, and it is also known as the Organization for Atoms for Peace and Development. Atoms for Peace and Development. Is India a member? Yes, it's a member. And in 2005, this particular organization was given Nobel Prize. Why? Because it is aiming to promote the peaceful use of nuclear energy and to prohibit its use for military purposes. Okay, and it was established with an independent status through IAEA statute, but it reports to both UNGA, United Nations General Assembly, and UNSC, United Nations Security Council. Okay, so IAEA is done, right? Now, how is nuclear energy a climate solution? Because if nuclear energy is used as a potential substitute for fossil fuels, particularly for electricity generation, it will have minimal carbon footprint. When considering the entire life cycle of nuclear energy, including activities such as reactor construction, uranium mining, waste disposal, and storage, greenhouse gas emissions are estimated to be around 5 to 6 grams per kilowatt hour. This is 100 times lower than the coal fired electricity. Isn't it amazing? Right? So, this is the thing that everybody is discussing. Because of this property, nuclear energy is seen as a climate solution. Which of the following statements accurately describes the role of nuclear energy in recent climate conferences? Nuclear energy has remained largely unnoticed at annual climate conferences such as the Conference of Parties. This is wrong. See, IAEA and other countries are actually coming together and discussing it. They're serious about this. So, this is wrong. The International Atomic Energy Agency has not been actively involved in discussions on the potential of nuclear energy at climate conferences. This is wrong because just now we have seen the context of article is the answer for this statement. So, to rule out this statement. Now, code, both are wrong. So, D, neither one nor two. In India, why are some nuclear reactors kept under IAEA safeguards while others are not? Some use uranium and others use thorium. Some use imported uranium and others use domestic supplies. See, this is the answer because IAEA safeguards are a set of technical safeguards applied by IAEA to independently verify any nuclear facilities to check if it is not misused or deviated for peaceful uses. So, this is the answer. 100 years of Vaikom Satyagraha. Some basics about Vaikom Satyagraha. It was launched on March 30th, 1924, against the ban imposed on members of marginalized communities in the surroundings of Vaikom Mahadeva temple. Okay. So, this movement was launched by leaders in Kerala, such as T.K. Madhavan, K.P. Kesava Menon, and George Joseph, on the advice of Mahatma Gandhi. And coming to the role of Periyar, some leaders such as George Joseph requested Periyar to lead the protest, and Periyar accepted the request and led the protest, making it successful. Okay, and Kalyana Sundaram conferred title of Vaikom Veerar, that is hero of Vaikom, on Periyar. This is important point. Vaikom Veerar, Periyar. Tamil Nadu played a pivotal role in Vaikom Satyagraha, which symbolized a struggle by the untouchables. And you should also know that this year marks the 100 years, that is the context. And in 1924 it started, right? In 1925, Mahatma Gandhi ji actually came to Vaikom, and he held a series of discussions with leaders of various caste groups and met Maharani Regent at her Varkala camp. So he was also part of it. And the Vaikom Satyagraha was officially withdrawn on November 30, 1925, after consultations between Gandhi and W.H. Pitt, the police commissioner of Travancore. So these are some snippets from the history, some basics from the history. Now, consider the following statements regarding Vaikom Satyagraha. It was launched by Veerasalingam Pantulo in Andhra Pradesh. No, it was in Kerala, and this person is not associated with Vaikom Satyagraha. He actually spoke about child marriages. Okay, and he founded the Rajamandri Social Reform Association focused on widow remarriage. So this person is not associated with this Vaikom Satyagraha. It demanded the entry of untouchables in Hindu temples. This is right. Which of the above statements is are correct? The second statement is right. Okay. Now, in the context of Indian history, which of the following statements is are correct regarding Vaikom Satyagraha? It was given in 2014. Okay, 10 years back. So 90 years celebration. Yeah. It was Satyagraha against untouchability and caste discrimination. This is right. Mahatma Gandhi participated in the Satyagraha. We've just seen in the basics part, right? So this is also right. Select the correct answer given using the codes given below. Both, yeah, C is the answer. This is it for today. All the best.